Hi there. So this is a short video about the what of R500, what it is exactly that we're doing. It is sometimes difficult to explain because what we are doing for organizations, we are specialists in a relational conversation at scale, but what exactly we're doing and why we're doing it and how we're doing it explains differently from the viewpoint of the people in an organization and the leadership in an organization. So when we are selling R500 to leaders, then basically what we tell them is that we are capturing and that we are scaling and distributing and aligning all good conversation and missing relational conversations in their organization. So we try to get all goodwill out. That's what we do. And so we are specialists in running a lot of individual and small group conversations at the same time and finding synergy there. Why we do that in the eyes of leaders is to move the whole forward, is to create exceptional behaviors, exceptional performances, so that all the things, the plans that they have, the process that they have actually work better. How we do that is by offering mass relational conversation protocols. Protocols that can be implemented partly by themselves or that can be implemented as a service by facilitators that we as R500 offer to them. So that is basically the picture from an organizational viewpoint. When they then ask like, yeah, but how do you sell it differently to our people? Then we can say that for the people, what we do is not so much the capturing and scaling of good conversation and pointing people to their individual responsibilities, but is co-leadership automation. Co-leadership automation is not a demand or a want from organizations, but it is a demand and a want from the people. People want to start living and enacting their own visions for the future all the time. So people see things going wrong in organizations, they want to do things better, they want to experiment, they want to just push an organization to higher levels to where they see that things could be going and where they often feel that leadership is actually resistant to whatever they have to say. So what we sell to people and what we also actually do is implementing co-leadership automation, meaning that the people we talk to, we try to turn them into leaders, empower them, enable them, provide them with information, with education, with access to goodwill and so on, so that these people actually can become leaders. But we also educate them so that they themselves can apply this mass relational capability. So the people we talk to, we want them to act more responsibly, but we also want them to be able to make other people that they work with act more responsibly. So that is the what. Co-leadership automation is the what in the eyes of people. Now the how for the people, when they say like, yeah, but how do you do that? That's basically by connecting different forms of ownership, craftsmanship and parenthood with each other. So it's not so much individually or team that is important. It's more important that people in various complementing capacities can meet each other. And for that, you need to do a lot of talking and conversations. So when we make the right people meet in an organization, and so that new vision emerges from those encounters, then actually after that we can organize what we call a goodwill marketplace. So where there is a demand and a supply of people wanting to do the extra mile with others. And so the how of what R500 does is then not so much the mass relational conversation to point people to their responsibilities to work harder and execute the plans that the company wants them to execute, but actually the marketplace of goodwill, the spare capacity and resource that companies are not tapping into, that can be used to realize the visions, the alternative visions that other people have in their organization. So the liquid goodwill organization is actually the how of R500 from people's viewpoint. Now the why from people's viewpoints. So is the visions, so make people, of course, live their vision for the whole, but it's also to find individual recognition. So it is clear that many people feel that they are just at this moment like a part in a big machine, but they don't feel that the whole that they are working for and with is really recognizing them durably. They feel that whenever their performance will fail at some point, that they will be removed from the organization. So there is very little future security and certainty. And whenever people do something good, very often it is the benefits or the credits for it are being claimed either by the leaders or by the group. And that is something that R500 will avoid at all cost. So this was a very short introduction to the why, the what, and the how of our activities, both from the viewpoint of leadership and of the viewpoint of people, whereby, of course, we hope that eventually both people will also share the viewpoint of the leaders, and the leaders will share the viewpoint of the people.